All right, let's dive into something we've all felt, I mean, really felt, but maybe don't fully get: boredom. You know it, right? That sort of nagging feeling when maybe you're waiting for a train or you're stuck in some meeting that's just dragging on, and your mind it starts to drift. You feel restless, maybe a bit uninspired, like your brain's filled with static. And what do most of us do? We reach for our phone almost instantly. But what if that feeling, that exact state, wasn't actually a problem we need to fix? What if it's like a hidden superpower? So today, our mission in this deep dive is to really unpack what boredom is, look at the surprising science behind it, and explore how it might actually be this powerful catalyst, often overlooked, for growth and, well, creativity. We're basically talking about turning this state we dread into potentially an incredible opportunity.
Yeah, and psychologically speaking, boredom is really that state where your mind isn't focused. Your thoughts are just kind of wandering, not really filtered by any clear goal. There's just nothing meaningful holding your attention. It's that classic restlessness, that dissatisfaction. And it can be sparked by all sorts of things. Lack of stimulation, sure, but also monotony, like the same old routine. Or even sometimes just unfulfilled expectations. Think about that commute you do every single day, maybe. Or a really repetitive task at work. Your mind just checks out, starts to wander.
Okay, that makes sense from a feeling perspective. But what's really fascinating, you mentioned the science.
Yeah.
There's something deeper happening in our brains, isn't there? This isn't just a feeling.
Oh, absolutely. Biologically, it's pretty complex. It involves your brain's reward and motivation systems. See, when you're really engaged in something meaningful, challenging, your brain releases dopamine. That's that key chemical messenger, right? For reward motivation, it helps you stay focused, driven.
Right. Keeps you on track.
Exactly. But when you're not engaged in anything that feels meaningful, well, those dopamine levels tend to drop. And your brain isn't just sitting there empty. It often shifts into what neuroscientists call the default mode network, which sounds negative maybe, but it's actually a less task-focused state that kind of paradoxically is crucial for things like introspection, planning for the future, even creative problem solving.
The default mode network. So it's not just off, it's doing something else.
Precisely. It's during this, let's call it unfocused state, that your brain can actually process information in totally new ways, make new connections. But, and here's the catch, if you don't give it something constructive to chew on, that's when it seeks the quick fix, the easy distraction, like scrolling endlessly through social media.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. And, thinking about productivity, structure often helps with focus, right? So a really common way people try to combat boredom is by setting up routines, habits, knowing what's coming next, staying on track. But I wonder, are we maybe missing something in this constant push for structured focus? Are we maybe suppressing something valuable by always trying to kill boredom the second it appears?
Routines definitely help, there's no doubt. Knowing what to expect lets your brain kind of gear up for tasks. It reduces the mental noise, makes it easier to engage. Absolutely. But here's the ironic twist, maybe. Even with the best routines, boredom still finds a way in. And often it's those moments, those nothing-to-do moments, that can unlock something really profound.
How so?
Well, it can actually break us free from thinking in straight lines, from rigid, conventional thought patterns. Think about when you're feeling properly stuck on a problem, you just can't see the way forward. Sometimes it's during those unfocused, maybe even boring moments that your brain, because it's freed from that direct pressure, it makes these unexpected connections.
Like the aha moment.
Exactly. That's often when those aha moments happen. Studies actually show this. It can lead to a complete rethink of your approach or even a breakthrough solution you just weren't seeing before. It really can help you bust through a mental block.
Wow. Okay. That completely flips the script on how most of us see boredom. We're always told, be productive, fill every single moment, don't waste time. Are you suggesting that sometimes actually allowing ourselves to feel that itch, that discomfort of boredom, could be, well, more productive in the long run?
Precisely. Boredom isn't necessarily a sign of failure. It's not that you're doing something wrong. Think of it more as an opportunity. It could be your brain nudging you, saying, hey, pay attention here. Maybe it's time to realign, to seek out something with a bit more meaning. It gives you that chance to hit pause mentally, to step back from autopilot and really ask, is what I'm doing right now truly serving me? Instead of just, passively going along with things.
A nudge. I like that.
Yeah. And this state, which feels uncomfortable, sure, it can actually be the fertile ground where new ideas start to sprout. where maybe passions you'd forgotten about get reawakened, or where you gain the clarity you need to make a change, to pivot towards something more fulfilling.
That's a really powerful way to reframe it. But I imagine for a lot of listeners, that's challenging. Boredom feels bad, right? Our immediate reaction is usually just to escape it, make it stop.
Yeah.
So how do we actually shift our mindset? How can you, listening right now, actively use this feeling to your advantage? What are some practical things we can do?
Okay, well, first strategy. Try to embrace it as a catalyst for change. So when you feel that restlessness creeping in, that boredom, instead of instantly grabbing your phone or switching on the TV, try what you might call a focus defocus. Sounds weird, I know.
Focus, defocus, okay.
Yeah, it could be as simple as just looking out the window and observing whatever's there without judging it for maybe 5 minutes, or even just doodling. No goal, just letting the pen move. What this does is it helps your brain shift from that really focused processing mode into more of a diffuse mode. And that's where it can make the surprising connections. And while you're doing that, ask yourself, is this feeling maybe a signal? Do I need to reassess my goals, my priorities? Am I genuinely challenging myself? Or am I just stuck in a bit of a rut here? If the answer feels like no or stuck, then boredom is actually a pretty clear signal. It's saying, hey, maybe it's time to make some changes, find more purpose, more meaning.
Right, using it as a diagnostic tool almost.
Exactly. And second, you can actively engage in activities that really promote creativity and innovation because you're feeling bored. What's fascinating, tying back to the default mode network, when your mind is in that bored state, it actually becomes surprisingly receptive to new ideas and perspectives. It's kind of primed for it.
Lean into it creatively.
Yes. This is your cue to try something like, well, constrained play. Give yourself a little creative challenge, try to generate 10 totally unique uses for a common object, say a paperclip, without looking anything up. It forces divergent thinking. Or maybe explore those interests you've always put off. Learn that thing you wanted to learn. Connect with some new people who might offer really fresh viewpoints. This kind of intentional exploration sparked by boredom can really help you break out of that rut and discover new sources of inspiration, new motivation.
That idea of constrained play, I really like that.
Yeah.
Actively engaging with the boredom, not just passively enduring it. It means with a bit of effort, maybe a bit of creativity. Boredom isn't just something to tolerate. It can genuinely be a powerful force for growth, for transformation in your life. It's like our brain is saying, okay, done with this now. Let's try something completely different.
Exactly right. Boredom is universal. We all feel it. But it really can be a good thing if you recognize what's happening and maybe lean into it a bit.
So summing up this deep dive, Dan, it seems what we often just dismiss as a nuisance, this feeling of boredom, it can actually be a signal. And more than that, potentially a profound opportunity to tap into our brain's natural creative machinery.
Which, raises an important question for everyone listening. The next time that boredom strikes, instead of that automatic reach for instant gratification, that endless scroll, just pause for a second. Ask yourself, what new perspective, what new path might this feeling, this shift into my brain's default mode network be trying to reveal to me right now? Try embracing the quiet. Just let it sit for a moment. It could be the fertile ground for your next big idea, maybe your next adventure, or, perhaps just a deeper understanding of yourself.